Good morning. Good morning. It's time to start our day. Good morning. Good morning to you and you and you and you and you. Good morning. Don't forget your little strap. If you do not have one of these, you could pretend, but it is nice if you do have one. And then, as I said, we're going to use our chair. We're going to use our chair. So taking some time, make sure you're on mute here. Let's see. Okay. We're going to sit right at the edge of the chair, feet on the floor and knees right over the feet. If you feel that you can't touch all the way down with your heels, I'd rather you take a blanket and put it under your feet. Let's really set this pose up where we're in right alignment, right? Right alignment. So maybe you would have to use some blocks if you feel like you're have some shorter legs in the chair you're on. You put your feet on a block, whatever it is, so that you can have that 90-degree angle. Maybe you have arms to your chair, maybe not. So just noticing that. All right. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Just drop the hands into the lap. They could be palm facing down, palms up. They could have a little bowl with the thumbs touching. Taking some time to just feel from the very top of your head all the way to the tailbone. Feel the skeleton here. The bones of your body. The webbing of your body, like an orange being peeled, all the different wedges and seams. Imagine that body with all that connective tissue. So many webs and fibers, organs, fluids. We'll take 1 minute here. The Ana Maya Kosha, the physical mass. Feeling into that physical mass. Are you gripping somewhere? Are you squeezing through your bottom or squeezing through your thighs, your jaw? And now turning inward to the breathing body, the electrical body. So we're going to check in with the nostrils here. Feeling the inhale coming into the nose, the cool air, and the warm air as it goes out. Where does that breath go when it comes into the body? How deep into the lower belly does it go? Is it shallow, more upper chest here? Without trying to push yourself or be aggressive in any way, just a little bit longer of an inhale. See if you can create a little bit of an increase there. And a little bit of an increase on that exhale too, just lengthening out the breaths, just a little bit more than you're doing now. Not too much. Beautiful. On this third and final minute, we're just going to either take our fists and put it inside of our belly if we're working on digestion. We're talking about clean eating this month, so that's one option. Otherwise, don't worry about holding on. Putting your hands there. You could hold on to the chair and just lean forward, bringing your belly to the thighs as much as possible. If this is really uncomfortable, you can always put your hands on a wall or elbows on the thighs. But we're just stretching out that lower back here, letting your head hang and breathing very deeply into the back tissues, that webbing, those bones, that skeleton, tendons and ligaments, just surrounding that physical mass with breath. Breathing into the back ribs. It's a little harder to breathe like this. So you're pushing the breath into the back side. Spreading it out. If we had a yoga block on your back, we'd see that block lifting up to the sky on the inhale, lowering down to the floor on the exhale. 4 more breaths. Beautiful, beautiful. Strong root to rise. Don't come up too fast. Now take your time here. Pause when you get about halfway. Just reconnect to that center. And gently come up. Now, if your yoga block is far away like mine is, and you're going to have to stand up here, I want you to challenge yourself to really use correct alignment. So really watch how you're standing up. Actually, let's all do this and we'll do it together. Come to the edge of the chair here. We're going to work the Mula Bandha. Pretend you're going to stand up without using your arms. So we'll be inhale, pretend you're going to stand up. Let's do that about 8 times. You can feel what part of the feet are connecting. And you're probably feeling that lift of the pelvic floor. So that hoisting up, that energy, that pelvic floor is lifting up. If you are not feeling that, you're not connected to that feeling, I should say, I want you to keep doing this. Pretend you're going to stand right up, feeling that from the perineum, from the pubic bone to the tailbone, the perineum, the base is what's lifting. Those of you who feel ready for it, no hands, you're coming up. Okay, make sure your chair is there and you're coming down. Don't fall off your chair, please. Okay, push up and sit down. If you need to hold on to the wall, reposition your chair. And notice that the knees are not buckling out. They're staying straight forward here. 2 and 1. Go get your yoga block. That's the long way around. Okay. Back to the chair. Again, finding that way of positioning yourself that you can sit right down with a block between your knees. Okay. Now, double check that the knees are right over the ankles again, and we're going to squeeze the block almost as hard as we can. So really squeezing that block. Squeezing, 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 squeezing. Notice that I'm sitting on the edge of my chair. My back is still straight. And I'm squeezing as hard as I can. Harder. Squeeze, squeeze, and release. Good, release. Okay, put it back. Let's pretend that hardest as you can is a 10. Let's see if we can squeeze it a 5. Squeeze it a 5. Some of you may like the block like this. Some of you may prefer to open the block. It really depends upon how wide you are here. Remember, these are our hip bones, this right here, not this. So these bones, we want these bones to be lined up over the kneecap. So depending upon how wide your hips are, the block is going to be different shapes. Okay. All right. Let go of that. Release. Okay. Let it be a 0. Oh, it fell. Right. Let it be a 0. Oh, it fell. There's no strength there at all. Okay. None. So let's go back to a 5 and let's hold a 5 throughout the rest of our class. Let's see if we can keep feeling that inner thigh turning on, no matter what else we're doing. So we'll hold here and meditate on that as we set today's intention. Feel the feet on the ground. Now from here with your mantra, I'd like you to lift the kneecaps up. Feel the kneecaps lifting up. Feel the heels of the feet pushing down, heels pushing down, ball mound of the toes pushing down, but you're trying to lift the kneecaps up. Very complicated feeling, but see if you can find some of that. Okay, got a 5 with the squeeze here. Feel the tailbone dropping, the sits bone dropping, but the crown of the head is lifting up. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. Heels pressing down, kneecaps pressing up. Sits bones pressing down, thigh bones pressing down, heart lifting up, shoulders lifting up, not close to the ears, but the shoulder roots are lifting up. Roof of your mouth is lifting up, crown of the head is lifting up. 3 more breaths. And release. Beautiful. Very nice. All right. Let's take the block and put it at its lowest level. And we're going to extend the left leg out straight. Okay. If this is too hard for you, what we're about to do, you can always just march in place. Okay. So we're here. We're going to lift the foot up almost like we were going to cross it over and then put it down. Up and down. 3, down. 4, down. 2 more. 1 more. And rest. Okay, so you're marching maybe, or you're doing these lifts. So take the other side out, please. Straighten. Can you lift it up as high as that block? 8, 7. 2 and 1. Good. Come on back. Pause. Go back to the rooting down, the lifting up feeling. Or up and down from the chair. 8. Please don't fall off your chair, please. 7. So you're either doing that other earlier level or you're doing this with us. You can also just pretend you're doing it. Again, working that inner channel, that Sushumna, that lifting up through the inner body. Just had this image of me falling off my chair. 3 and 2 and last 1 and pause. Okay, let's grab our our little stretchy band. So we're working our bones right now. We're working our joints right now, and then we'll stretch out. Really lovely. So we're going to take the strap over our thighs. Your choice. Again, you can march. You could hold on to, or you could take it out and over if you want to. Okay, here we go. Marching up down. Still have that inner channel of the block with a 5. So you're still squeezing in. 30 more. Special challenge. Are you keeping the hips hip distance apart? Are the kneecaps right over the second, third toe? Or do you have what we call the dangly earring where your toes are just sort of like dangly? You want to have them nice and fired up here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause and tip it over. Breathing deeply into the lower back. Squeezing inner thighs with a 5. Come on back up. Second round out of 3. Again, maybe you're going a little bit deeper and you're taking the strap down a little bit and you're lifting. Okay, here we go. Noticing again the breathing body really moving out to that skin layer. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back and forward fold. Breathing into that mass, breathing into that physical body. To the organ sacs, to the bones, to the fluids, to the organs, everything receiving breath. A beautiful life force that flows. When you're ready, root to rise up again, root to rise, and pause. Okay, last round. Whatever variation you're doing your marches with the strap up here, or you're moving down, whatever you feel like is best. Here we go. It's fun to notice the difference in the sides too. Continue to sit up nice and tall, whatever you're doing. And more. Breathing deeply into all the tissues. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Forward fold. Take your strap off. Just keep forward folding, breathing deeply into the back side. If you wanted to hold on to the chair, you could hold on to the chair. Give yourself a little bit more of a neck opener here. Beautiful. Find that root to rise, root to rise, root to rise. Come all the way up and sit up nice and tall. Let's say height of the neck. Again, you want to keep this 5 here, okay? So let's see if we can find bobblehead. I'm going to get in front of the window and you can see my head bobble. Can you find a bobblehead here? Are you loosey-goosey or is it very stuck? Just see if you can bobble. We'll play here for about a minute. Right at the very base of your spine, right around the roof of your mouth. See if you can find a little bit of a bobble. Now, 4 more breaths. Feels nice to juice it up a little bit. 3 more breaths. And coming towards the stillness here. Ears level, eyes gazing straight out. Take your right hand, hold on to the chair, and just reach your left ear to the shoulder. Lean away from that grasp on the chair. Lean away, opening up that neck. Some of you may even take your left hand and just massage through there. For those of you who feel like you have tight necks. And don't forget all the attachments above and below the collarbone there. A lot of drainage coming in front of the ear, down the throat. So this is a lovely area to massage if you're feeling tense. About 8 more breaths. Beautiful. And come on back up and go back to your bobblehead again. Noticing if it's difficult for you to loosen up there. Is it tight? Is it stuck? Or does it feel pretty good, pretty open? Where do you feel the tightness? All right, when you are ready, switcheroo. Left hand grabs the chair, right ear to the shoulder, lean away. Deepen those breaths. Start to massage if you want, moving through that collarbone on top of or below. Back to the back. About 3 or 4 more breaths. Beautiful. And come on back up of that. And last round of bobblehead. You could nod your head yes if you want to, or turn your head no, or go back to this idea of you're just being very loose. Beautiful. Ooh la las. Ooh la las, moving those shoulders back. Get the whole arm moving here. Both shoulders back now, feeling that big fluid movement back and back and back and back and back. Okay, coming back to stillness, taking our left shoulder and just dragging it up to the left ear, and then take up your elbow, and then take up your wrist, and then the whole arm, and then the same way coming down, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and hand. Okay, up, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers. Just play with that. How much can you do? You know, honoring where your limitations are as always. Just see if you can isolate. About 3 more. I'm even turning my head. It feels nice on the neck. Still have that 5, right? You're still squeezing at the 5. 2 more. Just 1. Beautiful. And shake it out. Receive the difference. Okay, let's check in on that other side. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers. It's hard not to make weird faces when you do this. That's the advanced level. My left arm's not as good of a dancer as my left. Look at me judging my arm, but I'm judging it. I'm sorry. Is it different on your sides too? Mine are very different. About 5 more. Dropping your ear if you're wanting to. 2. Last 1. And up we go. Grabbing the chair, extending your front rib cage forward. You could look up to the sky. You could look down to the floor, whatever your neck is needing. Dragging very dynamically the shoulder blades towards the spine, really dynamically, but dropping not only the chin to the chest, but more chin to throat. Remember the bobblehead action? You could even bring a little bobblehead in here too. See if you can really unscrew that head. 8 more breaths. Still have that squeezing between the knees too. Still have that 5 action. All right. When you're ready to come up, come up. Yogi's choice here. You could open your legs and go back into a forward fold, or if you feel like you'd like to go to a full downward facing dog, you could do that. And maybe even putting a block underneath your forehead, if that's something that feels supportive to you. You could put your block down and just rest your head. If it makes you put any tension in the neck, obviously you wouldn't do it. You'll just let your head hang, which I would prefer. Two more big breaths. Beautiful. Let's bring our knees down here, knees down, broken toe pose. So you're actually curling your toes underneath and you're really stretching out the bottoms of the feet. Okay. Feeling that really nice big opening on the bottoms of the feet. Some of you can even sit up here in that broken toe pose. Remember when we were playing with getting out of the chair, that lift of the pelvic floor is on right now. You can lift, you can feel that lifting up, even though you're in this position. 3 more deep breaths. Beautiful. Pressing down, come into your tabletop with the toes pointed back, just smack the feet down. Spread those toes, really pressing all 10 toenails down, really feeling it. Maybe punching again, maybe curling under again. And sometimes you'll sit back on the heels. Some of you might sit in between them. Some of you may sit on them. So either Virasana between the heels or Vajrasana on the heels, and we'll hold here. Double check that your your calves are pulled out and you're sitting there nice and firm and the knees are very happy here. Pressing all 10 toenails down. This is not possible for you. You're in hands and knees pose and you're still sort of curling those toes and spreading. Beautiful. Pressing down. Let's add a twist here. Left arm comes in and around, pressing that arm firmly against the ground. Is your spine right in the middle of your mat? So we want the spine to be right in the middle of the mat. So we're twisting around it. You could extend the back toes to the back of the mat, working deeper. I've got my toes on the chair if that works for you. One more deep breath. And gently come on back up. Wiggle it out however you want to. Maybe it's downward dog. And we'll switch. Second side, come on out. One more deep breath. When you're ready to come out, come out. And again, find a pose that works for you. Maybe it's child's pose where you're really finding that compression again. Maybe it's the broken toe pose again. I would say do the pose you don't want to, right? I'm going to do this one, but you can do any variation you'd like. Child's pose, broken toe pose, hands and knees pose, downward dog. We're going to set up for some pranayama here in a bit, but we're going to get 1 more minute of whatever you want to do. So if there is a posture you know you'd like to do, I would recommend you do it. I think a nice upside down pose would be great. So if you wanted to do legs up the chair or the wall, if you wanted to do down dog or dolphin with your elbows down, you could do a handstand, you could do a headstand, whatever you want to do. We're in clean eating this month, so we're we want to be dumping ourselves over, right? Changing our habits, doing something new, right? Hydrating, fluid, stirring. So do something here, about a minute, about 8 to 12 breaths. Something that would stir you up. You could even just take a light fist and just sort of bang on your legs, not hitting yourself. It's very light, but just sort of moving that stagnated energy, that winter weather. Coming out and resting. Again, whatever pose it is for you, maybe child's pose, maybe broken toe. Go back into breathing deeply into the backside. And beautiful, root to rise, root to rise. So let's find our sweaters and socks and things like that. And we're going to set up for our final, some pranayama, and then we'll move into our resting our resting state. But get comfortable here. And that means maybe sitting on the floor is not the most comfortable for you. So you could sit up in a chair to do your meditation. You could pad yourself up with some blankets and pillows. I'm having a little sip of lemon water here. Sip on my lemon water, warm lemon water all day. Maybe you'll join me. And when we want to sit, it's definitely nice to have a kind of a clear space. So you don't have to clean it, but cluttering, like move things away so that your mind can rest. Okay, we're going to take some time here and find our breathing. So physically, we're going to move ourselves into stillness. Again, bringing your attention to the cool air coming into the nostrils, the warm air leaving. Where's your tongue? Maybe run it around the teeth. What's the flavor of the mouth? What do you taste? Running your tongue along the teeth, the lips. Swallow and feel your pipes. And we're going to floss our breath. We're going to bring our mind, our meditative mind, from breathing in from the nose all the way down to the navel on the inhale, and from the navel up back to the nose. Okay, so we're just going to feel this breathing pattern, counting the whole time. So you could try a 6-6 pattern, an 8-8 pattern, something like that, where you're inhaling for that long, you're exhaling for that long. This is a place for you to focus your mind and calm your nerves. Okay, regulate your nerves, I should say. Okay, here we go. Nose to navel on the inhale, navel to nose on the exhale. And finishing up. Beautiful. Okay, pause. Maybe using your fingers and massaging the sinuses if you're feeling any pressure there today. We'll take a minute just to transition. Again, you could go back to rubbing out your neck. You could do some of this. Whatever you want as a transition. We're so lucky to know about yoga. I just can't help it. I just feel so grateful. I know about these tools, right? These healthy habits that help us so ground ourselves so that we really can show up for our lives authentically and genuinely and, curious and excited about living every day because we have these tools to help us calibrate. I'm just so grateful for them, as I'm sure you are. Okay, now we're going to go back into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. We're going to spend some time on that as well. Crossing the hand over here, breathing into the right nostril. Pinching both and exhale. Keep going. Finishing up. And for the last 3 minutes here, we're just going to sit and breathe. Connecting to yourself, breathing into both nostrils equally, about 3 minutes here. Rebobble your head or reset that spine. Closing up your session today with yourself. Watching the breath move into the front, the back, the left, and the right. The mind steady. Finishing up. Start to bring your hands and warm up the palms, just bringing them together here. Getting a little bit more heat, a little bit more heat. Taking as much time as you need to. When you're ready, cup your eyes. Just resting your very sweet head into your hands. I'm even pulling my elbows towards my chest so my elbows aren't even winging out. I'm just being held by my own body and holding here for about 3 more breaths. How do you want to show up today, my sweethearts? What do you want to put into your bodies? What do you want to put into your minds? Setting the intention for your day. Precious people that we are. And beautiful. Let's find our way to Shavasana. So taking your time, maybe you'll prop your legs up on the chair or the wall, whatever you need to do here so that you get exactly what you need. Taking your time to make it just right. So finding a position now where you're flat and squeeze your bottom. Squeeze it so strong. Squeeze, 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 and then relax. Remember the 5 here, okay? Squeeze your bottom, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Does one side feel stronger, harder, tighter? See if you can find that balance and then release. Play with that a couple more times. See if you can balance it out. Some of you may find that it doesn't release. It just sort of releases. 3 more times. And then melt like butter. 2 more, and then we're going to just like melt. Melt like butter. Probably shouldn't say butter on a clean eating day, but you know, like coconut oil. Feel that softness in the forehead and the jaw, across the chest as you make your way to your final pose here. And again, what do you want to do today? What do you want to bring in? What do you want to eat physically, also mentally? Okay. All right. May this work be of deep benefit to you. I will see you next time. Enjoy your Shavasana. Namaste.